Good morning, class 11 science students. So we had started a new chapter, the second chapter, that is pollution. And in my first lesson, first class, I told you about the correlation between pollution and development. How developmental activities will definitely lead to pollution of the environment. So now we'll start studying in detail about pollution, and we will discuss the first part, that is the effects of air pollution. As I mentioned in my previous lecture that there are various kinds of pollution that we need to study under this chapter. We have to study air, water pollution, soil pollution and noise pollution. We will start with air pollution. As we all know, when the concentration of the gases that are there in the environment, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, methane, oxygen, all these gases have a fixed percentage in the environment. When the concentration of these gases start rising, it increases. All the gases, when they increase in concentration, but not oxygen. When oxygen level increases, we do not consider that as pollution, because we all know that oxygen actually purifies air. But if carbon dioxide level goes up, if nitrogen level goes up, then the air is said to be contaminated. And when the air is contaminated, it starts affecting people's health, and not only the health of people, but even the abiotic elements like the monuments and other things in the environment also get affected because of air pollution. So what we have in our syllabus is the effects of air pollution, and we will be discussing the three major effects of air pollution, that is global warming, acid rain and the depletion of the ozone layer. These are the three main consequences of air pollution. So we will start with global warming, which starts with the concept of greenhouse effect. You must have heard about a greenhouse. A greenhouse is a house where we keep the plants. Especially in very cold countries, what we do is we make a house of glass or plastic sheets are kept, and then we keep the plants inside the glass house. And what happens is the sun's rays that are falling on the house, the heat is trapped inside the house because of the glass cover, and because of that the temperature inside the house rises, because of which the plants are able to survive. So that is greenhouse effect. Now we need to understand that a similar kind of phenomenon is today taking place in our environment too. Now what has happened is, please look at the figure that I am making for proper understanding of the topic. What has happened is, in the troposphere, we have a blanket of gases. What gases are these? You have carbon dioxide, we have methane, we have nitrous oxides, we have water vapor in varying concentration. The maximum amount of gas that we have in the troposphere today is carbon dioxide. Why have these gases formed a layer? This blanket that you see, this is a layer. Definitely you cannot see gases. But this is what has happened in the troposphere where we survive. There is excessive concentration of these gases, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor, and there are many other, and these are termed as greenhouse gases, right? Why has the concentration increased and this was not there earlier? Is because these gases, carbon dioxide, earlier what was happening is there was a source to take the gas away. Trees were sucking the carbon dioxide from the environment. Industries and factories and vehicles, all these released these gases into the environment. But what was happening was we had abundant trees. which took away the pollution from the environment. So they did not get concentrated. But today what has happened, as you all know, because of deforestation, we have lost the tree cover as well. In each and every country, the concentration, the percentage of tree cover has drastically reduced. And because we do not have the green cover, what has happened is these gases have nowhere to go. The sources are increasing. Industries, factories, vehicles, burning of fossil fuels, these are on the rise. And this one, the number is falling. So what has happened is these gases have formed a layer in the lower troposphere. Now what is happening, like a greenhouse, is the sun's rays, they fall on the earth, they come to the earth, but when they try to get reflected back, this layer of gases acts as a blockage, and most of the rays which should have escaped into earth, back to space, sorry, they get re-radiated back into the troposphere. This ray actually should have left and gone to the space, and little amount of heat is always trapped by the gases. That is necessary for our survival. We need a certain temperature to survive. But today what has happened is most of the rays are re-radiated back, and a lot of heat is trapped in the lower stratosphere, because of which what the scientists have noted is that every year from 1.5 to 3.5 degrees centigrade, the temperature of the earth has been rising, and that is what we refer to as global warming. Since this phenomenon is occurring all over the world, this is called global warming. Okay, so what is happening is global warming is on the rise. It is increasing each and every year. Okay, and what are the effects of global warming that we notice is that what is happening because of the excessive heat that is trapped in the lower atmosphere, what happens is the polar ice caps, the glaciers, which are supposed to remain as ice caps or glaciers, they have started melting because of the excessive heat. And then what happens? This water comes and joins the sea, because of which the sea level has started rising. And when the sea level rises, what happens is there is the fear that the cities which are situated on the coast, they may get submerged under water. Okay, so polar ice caps are melting, glaciers are melting, sea level is rising, migratory birds, they have lost their route, they look for cold places, but now the situation is that no places are cool as they used to be earlier because of this phenomenon that is occurring, that is global warming. So this is one effect of air pollution that the entire world is facing, right? And how do we overcome this problem? How this problem can be overcome is only and only by increasing the number of trees. Tree cover in each country should be raised, and that is being done by programs like social forestry, joint forest management, agroforestry, afforestation programs, public awareness programs. All these are being undertaken by the governments of various countries so that we can increase the tree cover so that these pollutants can get absorbed, right? So this is the only remedy for prevention of global warming. The second effect of air pollution, as I told you, is acid rain. Now, acid rain, unlike global warming, is not a global phenomenon. It's a very rare phenomenon. It occurs only in heavily industrialized places, places which have a lot of industries. In those particular places, we experience this phenomenon called acid rain. Now let me show you in a very simple manner how acid rain occurs. We have carbon dioxide, we have nitrous oxides, we have sulfur dioxide, and some industries also release chlorine. Now these gases are always suspended in the air, and the sources are numerous, as we know. We have these industries are there, There are factories which are releasing this. We have automobiles which are releasing these gases. These gases, they remain suspended in the air. And sometimes what happens is these gases, they tend to combine with the water vapor of the air. As you all know, we have water vapor in the air always. So what happens is these gases sometimes combine with the water vapor in the industrialized areas, and what happens is this is what is formed because of the gases combining with water vapor. So what I have written on the board is when carbon dioxide combines with water vapor, carbonic acid is formed. Similarly, nitrogen dioxide forms nitric acid, sulfur dioxide forms sulfuric acid, and chlorine forms hydrochloric acid. These acid vapors remain in the air, and sometimes, as I'm telling you, it's not a very common phenomenon. Sometimes these combine with the rainwater, they combine with the clouds, and then they fall down to the earth as what we refer to as acid rain. It's a very rare phenomenon. It occurs in heavily industrialized places, places which have lots of industries. The gases, the air will always contain these particular gases, the emissions from the industries, and they sometimes combine with the water vapor to form acids. And if these acids combine with the rainwater, then they fall in that particular area, and that dangerous rain is referred to as acid rain. If acid rain falls in the water bodies, it acidifies the water, and as a result of which all the aquatic organisms will die. If it falls on the soil gets acidified. The microorganisms, beneficial organisms in the soil will die, and the soil becomes acidic. If it falls on you, if it falls on me, if it falls on any human body, it burns the skin. It can lead to skin cancer, it can lead to eye cataract, etc. So this is the second effect of air pollution that is being experienced by some places. And the third and the last one that we need to study is ozone layer depletion. The depletion of the ozone layer. Ozone, as you all know, is triatomic form of oxygen. When 3 atoms of oxygen combine, then we have ozone. Okay. Now oxygen, O2, is considered a purifier. It purifies air. But if ozone is present in the troposphere, it is very fatal to human health. It can kill you. If you inhale ozone, it can kill people. But oxygen, on the other hand, purifies and is considered a very important gas. So I'm talking about troposphere, the layer where we survive. Oxygen is a boon, ozone is a poison. But if the same ozone gas is present in the next layer, that is the stratosphere, after troposphere we have the stratosphere, and in the stratosphere we have ozone gas. That is why the stratosphere is also referred to as ozonosphere. So what has happened is this ozone layer, what is the function that it serves is it traps the ultraviolet rays of the sun. If these UV rays penetrate and they come to earth, then life will not be possible. Okay, but what has happened is this important ozone layer has also been destroyed because of pollution. Which pollutant is this which destroys the ozone layer? It is chlorofluorocarbon, CFC, which you have to understand has now been banned all over the world. Almost 20 years back, CFCs have already been banned. But this CFC, when it was in use, where was it used? It was used as a coolant in refrigerator, in air coolers, in plastic manufacturing industries, body spray, perfumes, everywhere CFC found its application. And please understand that CFC is a very safe gas. It does not harm human beings, neither does it harm the plants and animals. But after using CFC in the refrigerators and air coolers for a number of years, what scientists discovered is that this CFC gas, once it got released in the troposphere, it had the ability to rise and reach the stratosphere. It took almost 10 years to 15 years for the CFC, which was released into the air today. It took 15 years for it to reach the stratosphere. That is why the discovery of ozone hole was late. Right? So CFC, when it reaches the stratosphere, I'm showing you the equation. What happened? Stratosphere, as you must have understood by now, a layer which is very, very hot because it is trapping the ultraviolet rays and keeping it there. So when CFCs encountered heat, this is what happened. It broke up into chlorine, fluorine and carbon. Now, this time carbon is not the culprit. The culprit is chlorine. What did the chlorine do? The chlorine combined with the ozone, and this is what happened to the ozone. The ozone molecule, that is O3, got converted to oxygen molecules, and oxygen cannot trap ultraviolet rays. This is referred to as ozone layer depletion. Because the O3 broke down into O2, we had pockets in the stratosphere which allowed the UV rays to come to Earth, and there was a lot of damage. And definitely, what could we do to prevent this damage of ozone layer was to stop using CFC. So CFCs have already been banned all over the world. In fact, when you are buying body sprays also, if you buy a body spray, you will see this symbol CFC and a cross. Not only on body sprays and perfumes, but on many other products, you will see CFC and a cross, which indicates that this particular product does not contain CFC. Okay, so this is what happened to the ozone layer, and now we have banned. And how do we repair the ozone layer? Nothing has to be done. It gets repaired on its own, right? So if we have banned CFC, what is being used as a coolant in the refrigerators, in the air coolers and otherwhere where CFC found its use? What are we using now if CFC has been banned? That is a question, and I will leave you with this question. Please find out the answer for this particular question. What is used as a coolant in refrigerators if CFC has been banned all over the world? I'll continue with the next pollution, that is water pollution, in my next lecture. Thank you, class.